Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Assume that in your project you need to set up a cron job which will run every day at 7 p.m. which will look for all the EC2 instances created by your development project team, and you want to terminate those EC2 instances at 7 p.m. every day. So how can you implement this solution? You can implement this solution using Lambda function plus EventBridge. The actual task will be done by Lambda function, which will look for the open EC2 instances and close it, and the time trigger will be provided by EventBridge. This is again going to be a simple exercise. I am going to give you the code and all the details in the video description. So let's begin. So we will create a Lambda function which will look for any running EC2 instances, and if there are any running EC2 instances, it will stop those EC2 instances. And then we will go to EventBridge and then create a schedule so that every 2 minutes this particular Lambda function will be invoked. That is what we are going to do. So as part of it, first thing is to create a function. I'll provide you with the code in the cheat sheet, the link to which will be provided in the video description. So to create a Lambda function, click on create function and then author from scratch. Function name, I will name the function as stop EC2. Runtime, I have written the program in Python 3.12. This is fine. Execution role, you need to provide a role to this Lambda function which has permission to access the EC2. I have already created a role like that. I will show you that. That role is called my Lambda 101. I will show you the role here. This is my Lambda role 101. If you look at the permissions, you can see that EC2 access is provided. There are many other things because I did several other exercises, that's why. But giving that appropriate role is important. Now come down and then you can create the function. So now the function is created. Now you have to update the code and then change some configurations. So to change the configuration, go to configurations and then general configuration. Here you can see that the timeout for this Lambda execution is 3 seconds, which means that within 3 seconds, if the execution is not complete, it will just stop. But in this Lambda function, because it deals with stopping an EC2, it will take more time. So I'm going to change this timeout value to 90 seconds. So come down. This one I'll make it 1 minute 30 seconds. That's it. No other change. Now I need to update the code. Come down, click on code and just remove the existing code. This is very simple, hello world. And I will copy paste the code. I will provide you with the code as part of the cheat sheet. Done. Now you can save it and deploy it, and then very quickly we will go through the code. So it is deployed. So import Boto 3, you know, it is Python SDK. We have downloaded that library and we are creating an EC2 client. And region, I have hard-coded it, but ideally you should not hard-code it. You should try to retrieve that from the environment variable. Then I have one function, stop running instances. It will actually find out which are the running instances and then it will stop the instances. You can see that here. I'll provide you with the code so that you can also try this out. And it will wait till the instance is stopped. Then only it will declare that the Lambda function execution is complete. And in the Lambda handler, I have just one line of code. I'm just calling stop running instances, that particular function which I have defined above. So this is done. So I have saved it and I have deployed it as well. So the Lambda function is ready. What next? You have to go to EventBridge and create a schedule so that every 2 minutes this will be invoked. So I will name it as stop EC2 2 minutes. I mean, any name you can give. Come down, everything can be default. Come down, one-time schedule, no, I want it as a recurring schedule. And here either you can specify cron-based schedule or rate-based schedule. Rate-based schedule is easier here because I'm going to do it every 2 minutes. But let me show you how you can do that using the cron expression. Because I want to do it every 2 minutes, what I need to do is in minutes just say *2 and star here, day of the month, star, because day of the week also will be same, so question mark has come, no problem. So it means that it will get executed every 2 minutes, but our EC2 may not be ready in 2 minutes. If there are no EC2s which are running, it will not take any action, that's all. So let us see what is going to happen. Come down and it actually shows okay when it will be executed next, 1:20 p.m., 1:22, 1:24, etc. So come down. Do you want to start execution from a future date? No, in my case I want it immediately, so I'm not updating it. This is optional, otherwise I can give the date here, start and end date here. Next. Okay, flexible time window, you have to switch it off. Flexible time window means if I specify every 2 minutes, it may take that as a flexible time window. It may invoke it anytime during that 15 minutes or during that 5-minute window if you select it here. So I'm switching it off so that I'm saying exactly at the schedule you have to invoke it. Come down. Next. Now what should be the target? My target should be a Lambda function, so select it from here. If it is there in this list, you can select it here, or you can go to all APIs and select it. Okay, so AWS Lambda. Now you have to specify which Lambda function. It has to be stop EC2, and then come down. Next, enable the schedule. Yes, come down. Everything can be default. Next. So now you can create it. Now once you create it, what will happen is I have one EC2 running here, and when it runs, it will stop that particular EC2. So let me go back to schedule and then create schedule. Okay, the schedule is getting created. Okay, you can see that the schedule is now enabled. Now if you come down, you can see when it will be executed next. Here it gives the time 124, 126, etc. It should have got executed now because we are at 122. So first go to your EC2 and see if the EC2 is running or it is stopped or not. It is still running, so let's wait. Maybe it did not get executed at 122. And to find out if the Lambda function is executed or not, what you can do is come here and then click on View CloudWatch Logs. So if you come down and if the log stream is 0, that means it hasn't executed. So let's wait for the first execution, which can happen in another 1 minute. I'm checking if the execution has happened or not. Here one entry should come in CloudWatch log streams if the execution of the Lambda function happened. Yes, now it has happened. The execution has happened. So if you open this, it will say that stopping instance so and so 56D4, right? If you go to EC2 and refresh this, you can see that it is stopping 56D4, right? It has stopped. So immediately after this, I'm going to start it again so that in the next iteration also it will try to stop that. So I will wait for one more iteration. Here you can see that it has got executed. Earlier it was saying stopping instances. Now if I refresh it, it will say stopped instances. Instances stopped. So if I go back to the log stream, you can see that one log stream which indicates one execution has happened. In next 2 minutes, another execution will happen. So let's wait for that and then we will stop this exercise. In the meantime, if you want to see when is the next execution, you can go here and it will say, it will give the next execution in 1 minute, 126. Now go to CloudWatch and then just wait for the next log stream to appear here. And in the meantime, let me check what is the status of EC2. EC2 is again running because I started it manually, but it should go to stopping state anytime now. Yes, you can see that it is going to stopping state. Now at this time, if I go to CloudWatch and refresh this, now it has got added to this one. Yeah, you can see that 756, or after 2 minutes, you can see the difference, 2 minutes, it is again stopping the instance. So basically what we did was we created a Lambda function which will look for running EC2 instances and then stop them. And we will trigger this execution of this Lambda function from EventBridge. We created a schedule and this is the cron expression which we used, which means that every 2 minutes it will invoke the Lambda function. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please try this out at your end as well. I'll come back with more similar useful videos. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Bye.